for?
It's for you.
Keep your hand, okay?
No, I want it sometimes.
Over time, we have seen the police act in ways that make us question the authenticity of the badge they carry. In some cases, these corrupt cops reap the rewards of their actions almost immediately. This will be the focus of today's video, but before we get into it, please subscribe and turn on post notification if you haven't. Dennis Turner. We begin with the story of 6-year-old Kaya Rollins, who was arrested in September 2018 for kicking and punching staff members at her Orlando charter school. While we can all agree that she needed to be cautioned, the approach taken by her school authority is quite shocking.
She's gonna have to come with us now.
Okay, Kai, you
Stand
gotta
up.
go with them, baby girl.
Stand.
Kaya was only 6 years old and was dealing with a sleep disorder condition. Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rowland said that Turner didn't follow department policy of getting the approval of a watch commander to arrest someone younger than 12.
What are those for?
It's for
Keep
you.
your hand, okay? Come over here, honey.
We can hear the pleas from the terrified 6-year-old, and it makes one wonder what must have been going through her mind at the time.
No, I want it sometimes. No.
The second officer, who has not been identified, didn't do much to change the other things, as the video shows the officer lifting the sobbing girl into the back seat of the police vehicle and putting a seatbelt around her.
I don't want to use it. Please, please.
A short time later, Turner returns to the office to talk to Luscious and Emma Nixon Academy administrators, who appear dismayed by what they have witnessed in the school office. President of the Orlando Fraternal Order of Police, Adam Crudo, said what is seen in the video is a lapse of judgment on the part of Dennis Turner, the TV station reported. Crudo said the guidelines in the department's manual have been updated. He said officers now need a deputy chief's approval before arresting anyone under the age of 12. Before the new policy, officers only needed a lieutenant's approval. Meanwhile, the charges against the little girl had been dropped. Brian Speakman. The Ohio police officer who released a police dog that attacked an unarmed black man, Jadarius Rose, on July 4, 2023, as he had his arms raised during a traffic stop this month, has been fired, authorities said. A review of Circleville police officer Ryan Speakman's actions during the July 4 incident in southeastern Ohio found that he did not meet the standards and expectations we hold for our police officers, the agency said in a statement to the Washington Post. It added that his termination was effective immediately. In the footage, sergeants at the traffic stop repeatedly yell at Speakman to not release the dog, as the man had surrendered with his hands up.
Do not let them, don't release the dog. Do not release the dog with his hands up.
But their warnings go unheeded, and we can hear Speakman giving commands to the animal with the intent to seriously cause harm to the seemingly compliant unarmed man, as the video shows.
Canine, you're gonna get bit. Please, canine, you're gonna get bit. Final chance, you're gonna get bit.
If you're enjoying the video, please hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications if you haven't already. Matthew Rodriguez. Jaquan Smith has been arrested early on the morning of June 13 to face charges involving carjacking and weapons possession. This story would have been your regular crime story, except that there is a very unexpected twist. Shortly after he was brought to the Warren police station around 6 a.m., Rodriguez walked him to the fingerprint room, according to the federal complaint. From the surveillance footage, we can tell that a conversation was being had, but there is no capture of any words exchanged between Rodriguez and Smith before the altercation, and Rodriguez was not wearing a body camera. The surveillance video shows Smith standing with his hands by his side and his thumbs hooked in his pants pocket before he is struck. He had already been searched for weapons and was not in an aggressive stance, according to the federal complaint. The video also showed Rodriguez severally slamming Smith's head against a wall and floor. After two other police officers helped Rodriguez restrain Smith, he picked Smith up from the floor by his hair and shoved him into a holding cell. sending Smith falling to the floor once more, the footage shows. From the video, Smith did not show any form of resistance throughout the encounter. What happened there was uncalled for, Dwyer said in a June 20 news conference. There was no altercation between the two. Rodriguez immediately went up and punched him. Smith was taken to a hospital on Dwyer's orders about 3 hours after being struck and returned to his cell later that day, then was transferred to the Macomb County Jail in the afternoon. What makes it more interesting is that the officer has been accused of using excessive force in his dealings with previous victims, and unfortunately, this will be his last, as he was fired and charged with misdemeanor, assault, and deprivation of rights. Just in case you are wondering what happened to Smith, he sued the department for a whopping $50 million. If you think you have seen it all, then you haven't met Joseph Bogard. Bogard arrested Timothy Davis on September 1, and video appears to show him slinging punches at the suspect. He was also recorded telling Davis he would armbar him. A voice recording caught him saying words that can be translated to mean that Bogard intended to cause him harm enough to make him non-existent. This released footage caused Chief Kim Jacobs of the Columbus Division to announce an internal investigation. Joseph Bogard has had his weapon and badge revoked in Ohio, USA, after a video emerged of an arrest. Male officers aren't alone in the game of receiving their karma. Meet Courtney Brown and Christy Wilson. Officer Brown and Wilson were filmed giggling as they were arresting motorist Sarah Webb after she was stopped for speeding past a police cruiser. According to the police report filed by Brown, Webb was driving around 85 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. As she sat in her car, damning body cam footage obtained by 11 Alive shows Officer Brown returning to the patrol vehicle to consult fellow Officer Wilson on what she should do. Noting the pavement was wet, Brown decided to add a charge of reckless driving, but both noted Wilson did not have speed detection in her car or tickets. With their options only to arrest Sarah and take her to jail or to release her, Brown turned to a simulated coin flip for help. Opening an app on her phone, the officers agreed that if the virtual coin landed on heads, she would be arrested, and if it landed on tails, she would be released.
That a head or tail. Okay.
Roswell City spokeswoman Julie Breachbill confirmed that officers Courtney Brown and Christy Wilson were effectively terminated weeks after video of the April stop surfaced. Roswell Mayor Lori Henry called the officers' behavior inexcusable and unprofessional. The last karma recipient in this video is Marco Burke. We can consider this to be a situation of shooting oneself in the leg. Police Chief Buddy Peaster suspected Marco Burke of stealing an AR-15 from an MTSU police locker and, with the help of Murfreesboro police, set up an on-campus sting. What it's called is an integrity test, said Peaster. Officer Burke was sent alone to investigate an abandoned vehicle. During the search, his body cam video shows him grabbing a bottle of pills, which he pockets. Then, Burke also grabs $1,100 cash and another bottle of pills. Moments later, he reports nothing unusual to dispatch. Now back in his squad car, you can hear audio of Burke shuffling papers, possibly counting the money he's just taken. With this overwhelming evidence, he was arrested and then made a call to his wife from the Rutherford County Jail. "I got caught up in something and I got in trouble. I know what I did. They did a sting and I got caught. I'm so embarrassed," says Burke. The hidden cameras set by police for the sting showed Burke at the car from a distance, but it was his body cam video that did the real damage at trial. But why would he leave the camera on? A little plot twist reveals that Murfreesboro police did plant real cash in the bait car, but the pill bottles were made to look like they contained OxyContin, but were sugar pills. Before the trial this month, prosecutors pressed Burke about what happened to the AR-15. He denied ever taking the gun and was never charged, nor was the weapon ever found. But Burke ended up pleading guilty to 3 felonies and, at trial, was convicted of tampering with evidence. He faces 3 to 15 years in prison at sentencing next month. Now you've become the type of person you are trying to defend your community against. Who should we fear more, the police or the criminals they have begun to act like? If you enjoyed this video, tell me what you think about it below. and also what videos you would like to see next. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Turn up post notification to get the beep when the next intriguing video comes up.